Merry Christmas Eve, guys. I am dashing tonight. So I am waiting on an order. Oh, there went my lights. Uh, I'm waiting on an order, and it's going to be close to 40 minutes at Papa John's. So I got time to go ahead and make a second video. This is going to be part 2 of many, many videos to come about no more addiction. So in regards to recovery, the Lord has been continuing to speak to me. And today he was just really honing in on what everything is really about is healing. The whole point of Jesus coming is to spread his love and to save people. And he didn't, when he was talking to the disciples, he didn't just grab them and say, hey, I want to teach you how to save people, and I'm going to do it. We're going to take them to the synagogue, or we're going to take them to this pool where they can be baptized. They can do all that later, but that's not how he healed them. When Jesus came to you and he spoke to you, he spoke to whatever the problem was, and he commanded it to leave. And it did, because of the authority he had, and he healed you. And he gave that to the disciples. And I actually have my trusty notebook, because I've been working on it. So, the Great Commission, okay? This is how you heal people. This is the Great Commission. Matthew 10:8. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise up the dead, cast out devils. Freely you receive, freely you give. That's what your mission is in life. However God is having you do that, that's what you're supposed to do. That's how you heal people. It says clearly right there in the Bible. In Matthew 10:1, and when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave power against uncleans to cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. He gave you authority to do that. He gave you authority. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You can do this. You have the authority he gave you. 2 Corinthians 10:5, we destroy arguments and every lofty opinion raised against the knowledge of God. We take every thought captive to obey. So the first step in recovery is, and I do know these, but I wrote it down so we can be very specific. And it just so happens, because I figured I'd have time, that I brought my notebooks. So, step 1 says, sorry about the shaky camera, guys. We have admitted we are powerless over alcohol and that our lives have become unmanageable. Well, that's the thing, is without Christ, your life is unmanageable. And I understand that many people don't know God. And AA is about, they're trying to bring you to your higher power to see this. I know Bill W. was a big Christian. Dr. Bob was not, but they mixed the two, and Dr. Bob wrote the big book. So what happens is you have Christian principles, but Jesus is taken out of it. And I know, again, the idea is to bring everybody together and try to save them, but, God says, do not put any gods before me. The only way to the Father is to step through me. By his stripes we are healed. He didn't say go to a 12-step meeting. So when we look at this and we look at healing, so I talked about sozo in my last video, that's inner healing that I do. We call life changes where we're at. It's a Greek word. Sozo is a Greek word. It's used 100 times in the New Testament, basically around the times when Jesus was healing people. Sozo means to save, deliver, restore, make whole. To keep safe and sound, to rescue from danger and destruction, to preserve life and protect it. It's that simple. So with inner healing, the reason you are having an issue anytime you have anything, it's because you believe a lie about God. So in the case when it comes to drugs and alcohol and other addictions, there is a root lie in there somewhere about God. If you are using addiction as a crutch, because you're self-medicating no matter how you're doing it, then you are believing deep down, and the root could be different, but basically you're believing that God isn't enough. God won't help you. Again, I know AA's purpose is to kind of wrangle people in and help them that way. But you start to have this separation from people. You know, people go to groups, they go to support groups and things because it's nice, like you have cancer, like, hey, we've been through this together, we understand it. And that's great and all, but, you know, addiction is big business. Did you know that in Boca Raton and Vero Beach, there's over like 185 rehabs, detox centers, sober living places? Big business. And guess what? 80% to 85% of those people, if not more, are going to relapse over and over and over. There are people that are called lifers, that if they miss a meeting, it's all gone. And you know what? If something is taken away from you and you can't live without it, it's become your idol. In this case, that's what happens. You drink the Kool-Aid of AA, you get stuck in it. And yes, I said the Kool-Aid because, you know, that's definitely a Jim Jones reference there. This is cultish behavior, what they're trying to do. Doesn't mean that, you know, Dr. Bob and Bill did not mean something great in the beginning. They did. But the problem is that it has grown and morphed into something that separates people from their families. It separates people. And we'll keep going through this. And I know you're probably thinking either I'm crazy, you're really angry at me because you're in recovery and you think I'm full of it, or you just don't have any idea and you're looking for help when it comes to addiction. Jesus is the answer through and through on everything in life. So going back to, you know, we've admitted that we're powerless. That should be with anything that you have. If, you know, you're not in control. As much as we like to believe that we are in control of our lives, we're really not. But we're also not puppets. God doesn't control us. You have free will. So that's why you're allowed to do A, B, C, and D, and you have consequences for it. So, you know, I want to read Romans 8:15 to you too. The spirit you received does not make you slaves so that you lie in fear again. Rather, the spirit you received, brought about by your adoption to sonship, and by him we cry, Abba, Father. So, when you receive the Holy Spirit, when you receive Christ, he gives you a spirit that's not of fear. He's here to deliver you and help you. You know, addiction is just a symptom. It's not the actual problem. Now, some people do need detox and medical detox when it comes to things. I understand that, and I'm not talking about that. Bill Johnson and Chris Valentin talk. They had a few guys that were on heroin, came into the meeting completely high, and they heard the prayer and it was gone. Jesus healed them immediately. Now, I know that's not everybody's story. Sometimes he makes you walk things out. And again, if you've gotten Jesus while you were in recovery, he puts people in institutions because he's going to try to reach you anywhere because they're already existing. God can do anything. But this is all about breaking down the institution of AA and coming away from it. Because people that do believe in God, that are in it, are like married to it in life. You know, if you think that you have to go to a meeting every time, every day, every week, every month, you don't. Because if you miss that meeting and you relapse, you're not healed. You know, there are certain things that you got to take a look at. Like, why at every meeting is there candy and coffee? Well, did you know that the drugs are broken down in your system as sugar? So you're feeding that sugar rush and addiction. I know in the big book it says that you should have those at every meeting. But here's the thing. If you're healed, you don't need that. And healing looks different to other people. As you have 100%, you have 80, you have, you know. When Jesus heals, he heals 100%, not 75. That's why you see people also outside the meetings chain smoking, because they're trading one addiction for another. They just didn't get rid of it. We'll talk about that in some more videos. So Merry Christmas Eve, and hope everybody has a Merry Christmas.